Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In today's episode, we're going to be studying a piece by the career digital illustrator known as Amir Zand. And in this episode, we're going to be looking at the Gate of All Nations, Persian heritage. We're also going to explore themes of exploration, rediscovery, and ultimate revitalization of lost knowledge and culture. So let's jump right into it. So at first sight, we're instantly immersed within this incredible moment of discovery here. Our first impression is likely one of awe due to the incredibly dense and rich cultural influences before us. And so we see our perspective set in perfect center here. We instantly see this and, we kind of wonder what awaits us far within the gates we're met with. And so colors within this composition really consist of gold as the primary, right? We may even call this a monochromatic composition. And with this in mind, this really focuses our perspective on things like symbolism and the impact of form as well. I think we certainly see that here. And, whenever we first see this work, we're just dwarfed by the grand sense of scale in the composition. If our subject is, of normal height here, you can just imagine how tall this large gate is. We're talking, 100 feet, something like that. And there is no doubt this immerses us so well and provides a true testament to the magnitude of this monumental moment of discovery here. And with this in mind, where are we? All right, so I brought in a photograph here of the original destination that inspired the work before us here. And so you see, of course, this grand sense of scale, much larger than the lone subject there. And in both instances, of course, we have a lone subject as well. And so the Gate of All Nations was built in the 400s BCE by Xerxes I, one of the rulers of the Persian Empire. And so we see this instantly, right? You have the Lamassu. We'll talk a bit about the Lamassu here in a second, but there is no doubt this is an incredible destination, and I would love to visit it someday. So yeah, that's the Gate of All Nations, and that is the destination or the setting of the display at hand here. All right, so on the topic of the Lamassu, I would be remiss if I did not break this down a bit further. So the Lamassu are what we know of as chimeric creatures, right? In the work before us, we have two massive Lamassu guarding the entrance of the Gate of All Nations. And so we see this quite instantly, right? The chimeric creature combines multiple different spirits of different animals. So we have, say, the bull or the horse. Of course, that hooved figure there. We have the wings, so the realm of the transcendent up in the sky of those birds. And then we also have the inclusion of a human head there. That's quite interesting. In the realm of symbolism, we can break this down, right? You have, of course, the wings, the transcendent up in the sky. You have the strength of the bull or the hooved figure there. And then we have the intelligence, the grace, and the divine nature of the human mind there. So it combines all of those into one singular solidified spirit, and we absolutely love to see it. This may have even inspired things such as the griffin, the lion with wings, all the way to the food dog in Asia. I've heard a lot of discussion about that. I can't say that definitively, but I do think there is quite a bit of influence there. So yeah, there's no doubt the Lamassu is a very iconic symbol of the Near East there, and we certainly see that in the composition here. They guard both halves of the temple and the gate before us. And so, like I said, the Gate of All Nations was created by Xerxes I during the 400s BCE in the Persian Empire, also known as the Achaemenid Empire. The Achaemenid Empire, or the Persian Empire, was founded by Cyrus the Great after bringing about the fall of Babylon. And an incredible transition at that, right? You had ancient Assyria, which was then conquered by the Babylons, which was then conquered by the Persians to bring about the Persian Empire to eventually create the gate which stands before us here. I think that's such rich and incredible history and very important to elevate, especially in the modern day. And, just for quick reference here, I actually have a timeline which kind of gives us a bit of context to what I was talking about. So, of course, we talked about the Persian Empire being founded by Cyrus the Great, bringing about the fall of Babylon. And then soon after that, of course, we have Darius, and then we have Xerxes. So Xerxes is the ruler who created the Gate of All Nations, which we're studying today. So I want to bring that in and just give some context to the founding of the Persian Empire all the way to the creation of the Gate of All Nations. And so I think there's no doubt that the commission of the Gate of All Nations is a true testament to the greatness of Persian culture and influence. It even stands to this very day, as we saw in that photograph a bit earlier. And far within this work, we have this lone subject, certainly calls the eye there, like we said, dwarfed by this grand scene of discovery. He appears to be exploring and, of course, discovering the incredible display before us here. He has this golden cape, which is actually reminiscent of a lot of figures that we see throughout Amir Zand's work. work. Perhaps that is Amir Zand himself. I'm going to bring those in real quick and see what we can learn here. Alright, so I brought in two additional works from Amir Zand to give us some insight on the figure with the golden cape here. This is a main subject that we see across so many different scenes, such as here, of course, riding the horse into the gateway. Even in the work here as well, we see the lone subject in an act of discovery of this very stylistic obelisk, which is so relevant to Amir Zand's profile. You'll find that obelisk across so many different works that he creates. So, like I said, there is no doubt this lone subject with the golden cape is in a moment of discovery, a moment of exploration, and of course, eventually revitalizing a lost culture and knowledge which has been rediscovered here. And those who go out, they truly risk it all to discover the lost knowledge, to revitalize it, and bring it back to the tribe. And so we certainly see that here. And with this in mind, how will y'all preserve and ultimately revitalize that lost knowledge of our past? I think that's such an incredibly important question. The original artist said that this is a very personal piece to him. With that in mind, it is a work in progress, so this piece is not quite finished here, but I found it incredibly important to elevate and kind of teach about today. So I really hope y'all enjoyed. He talks about his Persian heritage is incredibly important to him, and I think he certainly, explores those themes here. We see the greatness of Persian culture and influence. I think there is no doubt about that. Really hope y'all enjoyed today. The work before us is a digital illustration, so it was painstakingly painted upon a screen. In a lot of Amir Zand's work, you have so much detail, and we certainly see that here. It's just a pleasure and an absolute privilege to study that as well. So, like I said, I really hope y'all enjoyed today. We talked about everything from his grand sense of scale as a testament to the moment of discovery, to the Persian Empire, Xerxes I, the gate of all nations, even its subject of discovery, elements of revitalization of lost culture, even, hitting on the llama suit and the symbolism of that chimeric creature there. So many different things we hit on today. I truly hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all enjoyed today's episode, make sure to check out the original artist, Amir Zand, really a career illustrator at this point, doing some amazing stuff in the world of illustration as well as animation too, so gotta give him some credit there. Like I said, I really hope y'all enjoyed today, and if y'all did, go check out the original artist Amir Zand. My name's Apollo, this was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.